Can you just brief? Can somebody brief like what we have discussed yesterday? You can just type or you can speak.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, we have to discuss about the topics we have to cover in the
Yeah.
this training.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
And what is I mean brief about the ETL
Mm.
like.
Okay. And in our topics, like what we have covered, apart from the
Yes.
index. Apart from the index, we have covered the cycles, right? We have covered the development life cycle. We covered
Yes.
the testing life cycle and the bug life cycle. We have covered that or not? Hello.
Hello.
I haven't covered the cycles, right? Development life cycle, testing life cycle, bug life
No, no,
cycle.
no,
Nothing we have
no,
discussed, right?
no.
Only the topics we have discussed.
Only topics we had. What is data and what is ETL? Like,
Yes.
what is
What
it?
is ETL? So those things we
What
have
is?
discussed, right? Okay. So we
Yes.
will discuss, and also we have discussed like what are the different things that we can have like in ETL testing also. What are the different ways? So though I think like
Yes.
mainly the index part only we have discussed yesterday. So to start with the manual, before like going into the testing, we need to know the cycles.
Yeah.
Cycles means like we will be having in the software, we will be having the development life cycle, testing life cycle, and the bug life cycle. So these three are important, and mainly in the interview, like the question would be posted to you, like what is development life cycle and what is a testing life cycle. So in general, like I wanted to know from you, like what would be the development life cycle in general, you can say, so then we can correlate with our software development life cycle. So we call this as SDLC and STLC. I think like I haven't shared screen. I will share the screen. SDLC and STLC we say software development life cycle and software testing life cycle. Okay. So in general, like you just tell like what would be there in a development life cycle. Any product you consider, you can consider any product, or in general you can think and you can say what would be covered in the development life cycle. You just take your phone, for example, like all of us will be using the phone, right? So you just consider the phone and you say like how that product they would develop. In general, you think and you can say.
How the design should be and how the working operations like.
So first itself you will design it. First you need to know the function, right? And the requirement
Functions
also.
is
You need to
okay.
know the requirement. So first you need to requirement is to make the calls or to send messages. So these are all requirements. So to need to use different applications in the phone. So these all requirements you specify. So that would be our first phase. Design, you said yes. That would be the second phase. Like after you get the requirement only you can proceed further, right? So
Yes.
what you would do in the design phase? What you would do in the design phase?
We have to design the particular app based on our requirement.
Yes, based on our requirement, like
Okay.
you will just see like what are the things needs to be done for execution. You will say like for getting the product, like what are the different manpower you need to have. Design and planning, you can say like in the second phase mostly. Manpower, what are the manpower you need to have, and what are the machines you need to have, what are the different softwares required to develop the product. So you will plan these everything, plan the activities which are required for which are required for what do you say, like manufacturing the product. So everything you will plan in the second phase, design or planning, you can say there. Okay. Then the third phase, what you will do, like everything is set up. You have the manpower, you have the machines, you have the like the drawings for the product, what needs to be manufactured. Then what you will do. So two phases are over. Third phase, like what you will go. Third phase is like once everything are there in place, you will go for
Development.
develop, not development in the sense like manufacturing. You can say there is no development kind of phase. So
Okay.
manufacturing or implementation, you can say like you have all the resources, you go for manufacturing the product, or like implementation you will go. Okay. Then the fourth phase, what you will do, like your product is ready, everything is ready. No, you have the second phase, you have planned everything, and then the third phase you executed and your final product has come. Then what you will do.
We have to send it for testing,
Yes,
whether
correct.
it is working properly or
Yes,
not.
correct. Fourth phase, you will be having testing. You need to know like as per the requirement, you have made the product. So it is then like the manpower or like the persons who have made, they will just make as per the specification. Now the testing phase will come as per the requirement of the product and as per the specification of the product, whether it has been made or not. The testing team will check. Once testing team checks, like then what you, they will say like if some problem is there, again they will
We
just
have to
return
yeah.
to, they will just say, raise some defect and again just send back to the who have designed design team. They will just send back, again they will make some changes and again they will
Yes.
pass to the testing. Okay, now you say, now you think like testing has been completed and everything, they have said like okay and it can be, and it was a pass, they say like, so the quality testing has been passed. So then next what will come.
And then we can launch the mobile.
Yes, correct. Then you can launch the product, or you can what do you say, release the product, launch or release the product to the outside. Okay, so after that, then once it is released, then what would be the next phase.
We have to do some business and analyzing, like
Okay, that
how
is
we
all
have.
secondary to the business. For our cycle, then what would come, like you would be getting the feedback from customers, right? Like how the
Uh,
product is. So you
okay.
would be getting the feedback, or yeah, like the product owner might get some ideas, or like you need to maintain the means like if you think of phone, they have released some Android 11 version. So again, they will in the same Android 11, they will make some changes, some maintenance kind of activity they will do, and again they will release for the same 11.1 or so, right? So that is like a maintenance activity, or like they were taking feedback and they were doing that. So those stuff all comes under maintenance, or some enhancement you are doing to the product. So that comes under maintenance. Once maintenance, from the maintenance, what you'll come again, you will be getting like requirement, right? So you need to
Yes.
make these changes to the product, or the customer is feeling that if this feature is there, then it would be good for the product. So all those things should be collected, and what will go again, the again it will comes to the requirement phase, right? So the cycle is completed. So this is the cycle. So in software, what was the terminology would be like, I will just mention you here. First is requirement requirement gathering and analysis. Means like the same, the first what we are doing, like what we have discussed now. So that is the thing. So first is right requirement gathering and analysis. Next is design phase, as we have discussed. The third is implementation, not implementation. Coding you will do and you will implement, right? Coding in software, you will do coding and implement. This would be the third phase. Then the fourth phase, as we have discussed, fourth phase would be testing. And the fifth phase would be like deployment or release, you can say. Then again, maintenance. And again, it comes to the first from maintenance. Again, it comes to the requirement gathering, analysis, design, coding, implement, testing, implement and release, maintenance. Again, the cycle repeats with the 6 steps. So that we call as a software development life cycle. Here in this, we have different models. We have waterfall model, V model, spiral model, agile model. So these are the different models you can say like in the SDLC. It's like software development life cycle. These are the general available models in that. And mostly earlier they used to use waterfall model but nowadays like everywhere they were using agile model. They were using agile model and the scrum environment. So generally like in most of the resumes you see like agile scrum environment. Waterfall model is nothing but it like conventional, you can say. In the middle, the testing phase, it wouldn't come. So after each and every requirement comes, then only like when the design is done, coding is done, then only testing is done. It's like following the conventional steps what we have mentioned in the cycle. So you won't change like any phase. Uh, Once the design is starting, like in the middle of the design, you won't test it. So you will be following step by step in the waterfall model. Once this is done, so you will say this phase is completed and you will go to design. And once design is completed, it will go to coding and implement. Once this phase is completed, then only it will go to testing. So each and every phase should be completed and that should be locked. So there would be no changes again in the previous phase. So if you go by that way, that is called a waterfall model.
Waterfall.
So you can say like every next phase starts only if the objective of the previous phase is completed. But this is better for like if it is like short term software projects, I can say. But for long term, it would be a problem. Long term, they would be going mostly to the agile methodology. And for small products, so it would be better suit this waterfall model. These projects where like quality is more important than the schedule or cost. For the small product, like where the quality is very important for that than the schedule or like the costing for that particular project. There, this model better suits. And in the agile model, it's a blend of both like iterative model, you can say, iterative and incremental model for handling the product development. So in each phase, like they mainly they concentrate on the schedule and the cost of the project that should be within the budget. So that is like agile methodology. So they can mix each and everything. Like if in the coding some part is completed, they can give to testing. Before like the complete end of the phase, this some other phase would get pitch in, and they will be doing like until waiting till the end of the phase is completed. And this better suits for long term projects, and also where the cost and schedule of your project is very important. So that is agile model. So this is the main difference between waterfall model and agile methodology. V model is also verification. We can say like a validation model. V model in the sense like validation model. This is also similar to the waterfall model, and uh, each phase each phase should be completed before starting the next phase in this model also. Spiral model is like iterative development model, you can say. Spiral model in the sense iterative in the sense first you will make some change to the product, and again it will go to all the phases, and again you will make some change, make some other change to the product, again it will go to all the process. So this model is adopted by mostly like complicated projects where risk is very high. Means like even if small change is there, and if before going how I can say, like there are some 5 to 6 changes that we need to the project, that we need to do to the project, but each small change impact is very high on that product. So instead of completing all the steps, it's better to complete like each small step and then go through all phases, and again complete another small step, and complete like all the validation, and again do like validation in the sense like go through all the phases, and again make some small change, and again go through all the phases. So such type of model we call as a this spiral model. And the prototype model is before releasing the actual product, using the code like what you have developed, you will make a small prototype kind of thing before the actual product, before making of the actual product, and you test the prototype, and then only like you develop the actual product like what is required as per the business requirement. So that is a prototype model. So these are the general types of development life cycle models. in the software. And mostly this prototype model is used like when end users don't know the requirements in advance. There was some, if there was some requirement gap mainly, then this prototype model would be used, so that by using that prototype they can just see like what could be added, what requirements can the end users would think like, so that things can be done like by seeing the prototype. So understood there's different types of model, but mostly you will be seeing this agile and waterfall only, like you would be hearing. And nowadays, like in most of the projects, waterfall also, like we can't hear this name, as there are like large projects only. When you go into the company, everybody will be speaking agile, agile, agile. And each project, like you can say, like most of some 80% of the projects are using this agile scrum methodology kind of thing, agile model and scrum methodology for like the tasks, you can say. So understood the development life cycle models, or you want me to explain again?
No, understood. No need, understood.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. The next is testing life cycle. As we have discussed the development life cycle, can you just say like what would be the steps involved in the testing life? Just a general, just as a general scenarios, you can explain me, like we could discuss. Why I was doing in this way was like, if we discuss and just remember, it would be easy for you. No need to remember all the names. You will just remember and you will just tell the names. If they ask like what are the steps that would be involved in the development and testing, so that's why I was going in this fashion. Yeah, just to tell like what would be the different phases that you think in the testing life cycle.
First, we have to get the requirement.
Yes, here
Means
also, correct, correct. Here also you need to get the requirement, like what to test and what is
yes.
the function, like everything requirements you will collect for testing also. Then what you will do?
We have to test the design if
Next
it
again,
matches with the
no,
requirement
no, no.
or not.
You need to again plan here also, right? That is
Okay.
development, that is completed. Testing,
Okay.
only in the testing point of view, you think. Here also, you just get the requirement and again you plan. Plan in the sense like what are the softwares required for testing, how many resources, how much time, and when exactly is like planning the project. Like again, this is testing is also a project, right? So you will think in that way.
Yes.
So you will plan everything. Then what you will do? Then you need to know the test points or test cases, you can say. What are the different cases that you need to test your product, or the different test points that you need to do for the product before you can say that the product is pass. So you will think that one first. Okay, that is the third phase, you can see. Next is like what you will do once your test points or test cases that are ready, like what needs to be tested before releasing the final product. So then you will just set up everything, right?
Yes.
Implement or like just install the softwares what are required for you can say like environment preparation, like which is required for testing. It is not required, but generally they say like setup kind of thing you need to do in the phase. So you will just set up like what is required, everything, and the resources you will log to your project. Everything you will do like setup kind of thing, which is required for testing. Then what you will do? Then you will do like execution,
It
right?
is, yes,
And you will do execution. When you are doing execution, what things might pop up?
like bugs or
Yes, bug
any
or defect.
differences.
Either it can be like complete pass for your product, or like there might be you might be getting some types of defects you can get. So once you get a defect, what you will do?
We have to send that report to the designer, I mean developers.
So you will be sending that report to the develop
Bugs report, related reports.
bugs report, in the sense like you will report like with some management tool,
Yes,
test management tool, or like bug management tool, you can say. So you will report that bug, and you will assign to the particular person who had developed that code or the software. So you will assign that person. Then what he
yes,
will do? Then what he will do is, again he will just look at his code, and again just see like you will be sending like in a fashion like expected and actual result. Expected result is something, and but the actual result is coming in some other way. You will just tell him. So then he will see, he will check his code and modify his code accordingly, and again fix it, and again push back to your test environment. Then again you will test it. Then if it is okay, then it's like you will close that particular test point, or else like again you would raise a defect until the defect is closed. This cycle gets repeated. This you can call as a bug life cycle, you can say. So like now everything, like all the test points or test cases, like what you have developed is pass for the product. Then what you will do? Final phase. Final thing is
re-
you will close.
release.
No, here release won't come. That is in development. Here only testing life cycle, right? Here you will
Okay,
just close in the testing. At the end, what you will do? You will just close all your tests, and you will say that product is passed and your cycle is completed here. This is how it behaves in this testing life cycle. So I will write the steps. The first is like again here requirement. Requirement analysis, and again planning, test case design, environment setup, and execution. Once execution is there, like here in the execution part, the defect life cycle will come. So I was here not mentioning that. Once everything is done, again you will execute the test, and you will the final step is closure. So these are the different steps that would be popping up in the testing life cycle. So is there any doubt in the steps? Like we have discussed each and everything, right? So that I have kept in points here. So these would be the different steps in testing life cycle. Are you clear on this?
yes,
So the next one is bug life cycle. I already have discussed this one with you, like in the testing, in the execution part. Just we will see the steps what would be there in the bug life cycle. So if a defect is right, that would be the new bug, you can say, right? New item, you can say. the cycle I was saying here. What are the steps that would be there in the bug life cycle? The defect is logged, it would be in a new state for the first time, like when you are testing, and you will assign to a person. So the status what you would be giving in the defect management tool is a new, you will keep. Then if you assign to the particular person, then you need to change the to assigned. Generally, like first you will log in and some other person might assign, right? So if you only log in directly, you will keep first initially, like when you logged in, it will come in new state, and when you assign a person, it will change to the assigned state, you can say. So assign, you will just assign. If it is assigned, then the once the developer like who will open like who will be working on this, then he will change the status to open. It's like an open item, you can say. So he would be working on that, and once he completed his code, he will change to fixed or resolved in the management tool, and he will push the he will change the status to fixed. So once again it has been pushed to the testing environment, it will change the status to like retest, you can say. It will change the status to pending, and at the final, when the quality person or the person QA person starts, like he will be retesting it. And once he retests, what he will do, if there was a problem, again he will make it to open. He will change the status to open. So the same person who was assigned, again he will fix the code, and again he will push the code to the testing environment, and again retesting will be done. So until in the retest, whatever the code is fixed is passed, again here the cycle repeats. So once the retesting is done, it will be, you can say, like validation is completed, and you will close the bug. Close the bug. So this would be the different steps that would be there in the bug or defect lifecycle. Is this clear?
Okay.
So these are the life cycles that you need to know particularly, and this is important for us than the development. STLC and bug life cycle is very important for us. You need to know, like after each step, like what would be coming in, what would be coming in, and also a general question that would be popped up to you, like what is a bug life cycle and what is a testing life cycle. You need to know, like after which phase, what phase would come.
Okay.
So that's all in today's class. So still another 3 more minutes are there for us. If you have like any doubts in today's class, you can just ask. In the video, like I think like yesterday I haven't shared it.
Yeah.
So today I will just create a folder and keep like yesterday's and today's video in that, and ping in the group. Mostly like in another 10 to 15 minutes I'll ping in the group itself. So if there are like no doubts for anyone, then we will close the class. Okay, then I will just upload the class and I will post in the group like once it is uploaded. Mostly it will be done before 8 o'clock. Okay. Okay then. Bye.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Bye.